Hey, this is Caleb Magical, and I just wanted to share a little bit about a new custom framing I've been doing for some of my smaller lenticular holograms. I'd like to also potentially apply it to some larger pieces. So it's pretty cool. What it is it's actually using these are called aluminum extrusions, or aluminum, or sometimes also called T-slots. Basically the way it works is you have bolts that, I'm trying to hold the phone and slide this in, there we go. You have little bolts that you can slide into these T-slots. Ugh, it just fell out. Let's try that again. So they slide in these T-slots like that, and then you can put bolts on to lock them down. But so I'm using these basically to do frames. So you can see to do this one I'm about to do, all these parts in front are all that's required, and a few tools, other than like there's some other cutting and stuff I'm leaving out. But it was pretty cool. I mean, basically, I've got a metal backing, and I've got some spacer stuff, and basically here you can kind of see how that fits in there. Basically these T-slots have this gap where you can, it basically works like a nice frame. And so you can basically connect 4 of these. I basically, it's worth noting, I didn't even use a computer for any of the design. I didn't do any CAD for any of this. I basically just try to take pretty precise measurements and ordered them cut to the particular lengths that I wanted, and got the connection hardware I need. And so what we have, I mean, this is, I would say, a heavily over-engineered frame, honestly, for something this size. I mean, it's like 22 bolts and 22 nuts, and kind of insane for the size. But I ended up wanting to play around with some custom framing after I had a number of frames get slightly damaged that are just typical wooden frames. And I was also just curious about if this would work. And I actually looked it up online, and I haven't seen anyone else doing this kind of thing, which is actually kind of surprising a little bit. Anyway, it's cool to me, and it's worth noting, I guess, as I'm talking through this, I'm gonna do a limited release of some of these small lenticulars. These are 4x5s, and I've got this Julia set here is 4x6. But I'm just doing a very limited number of these. But I'm happy with how they turned out. I suppose I could comment on, in theory, you could argue it might be better to do miter cuts for the corners. I kind of like, these aluminum extrusion T-slot. It's kind of got this really cool engineered look. And so I actually intentionally didn't do miter cuts just to keep a couple of these edges exposed so you could see what the frame is made of, because I personally think it's kind of cool. And sometimes I kind of like not having all of the implementation details hidden from the viewer. So that's just a personal aesthetic preference. Anyway, yeah, so just wanted to share that. Aluminum extrusion T-slot framing.